everyone is underestimating. You, the viewer, are probably underestimating it. This is one of those books that people are likely going to make a mistake on. It's one of the most confusing collectibles to purchase. Russ, this next book was cheap last week, and now it's even cheaper this week. What the hell is going on? The most trending comic books in the world. Number 10 on the list is Captain Planet and the Planeteers, issue number 1. From 1991, this book, $10 average sales, $228 as of May 2024 for a CGC 9.8. An increase of copies sold of 267% because after 3 decades, we are getting new Captain Planet courtesy of Dynamite Comics.
An unlikely superhero, if there ever was one. He's saving the planet. And in late April, April 23rd to be exact, Dynamite Comics is bringing back new Captain Planet. We've got some fantastic variant covers. Ben Oliver's doing one. Christian Ward. Jay Lee has a connecting variant of the first 6 issues. And it wouldn't be a trending list without Mark Spears.
That Mark Spears cover is actually really dope. I'm not a huge Captain Planet fan. However, what I will say is this run, it's pretty attainable. It's only 12 issues, and issue number 4 is a Fantastic Four #1 homage.
This book falls solidly under the it's a kid book, so it's going to be really tough to find in high grade category. There are only 9 9/8s on the census, and the market is all over the place. Back in 2022, we had a $650 9.8 sale. In August of 2023, $733, and that's why May of 2024, a $228 9.8 sale. It's just crazy. Nostalgia is very clearly driving these sales. What's going to happen now with the new one coming out?
I got 3 words for you. Neil Adams cover.
Again, an unlikely superhero with an unlikely cover. I almost always forget that this is a Neil Adams cover. I wonder how much money he owed someone to have to get stuck on doing the Captain Planet cover.
Please hit the like and subscribe. We make this video every single week for the comic book community, and we have been for over 6 years straight without skipping a beat. This next key comic book, everyone is underestimating. You, the viewer, are probably underestimating it.
The perception is very far from the reality.
Number 9 on the list, Captain America 25 from 2014. This is the first official appearance of Sam Wilson as Captain America. $15 sales, 9.8 recent sales, $75. The movie comes out in 2 weeks.
There's a 300% increase in copies sold this week, and it's very clearly being driven by the movie. The price is criminally low. I mean, you can get new books that were graded in the last 6 months that were brand new on the wall that cost more than $75. There is no faith in this book. There is no faith in this movie. And really, I think it deserves more respect.
At a glance, this key comic book looks like a complete failure as it pertains to speculation and investment, because as of April 2021, the heights were reached of $660. But there's context to these sales.
While it is easy to dismiss a $660 sale, we have to take into context what timing. Sure, 2021, but the first $400 sale happened March 21st, 2021. What happened around that time frame, Tom?
March 19th, 2 days before that sale, the debut of Falcon and Winter Soldier. The first theatrical type movie quality show debuting on Disney+.
Not only was the interest and demand high, it kept up for 6 straight weeks and 6 episodes. We didn't really start to see the prices falter until May 17th.
That's when it creeped below $400 for the first time since it started creeping back up past $400. And when did that happen?
The show ended May 23rd. So very clearly people were still watching the show, still binging the show, and had a lot of high hopes for Sam Wilson as Captain America. We knew he was coming, but the delays have completely and totally blown any wind out of this sale.
When you see near $700 highs on a book that's now going for $75, most people would say that this book just tanked. But it's not as egregious because this happened in under 90 days in the last 4 years.
Before the show premiered, we were seeing sales in the $150 to $250 range. And after the show ended, we started seeing sales in the $250 to $300 range. It had come down, but really it was just a regression to the baseline. The reality is nowhere near the perception.
I'm giving this away. Hulk 340, Secret Wars 8, Black Suit Origin, ASM 301, Classic Spidey McFarlane. I'm also going to give away an Xbox One or Nintendo Switch or PS5. You get to choose this week over on Whatnot. These giveaways are happening between two streams, February 6th and 7th, on the best place to buy and sell collectibles and get exclusives from me. This is where I debut all my convention exclusives. Get a free $15 credit by using the link in my description on your first purchase. This week, February 6th and 7th, I'm debuting all my convention exclusives on the Whatnot app. Whatnot's a great place for me to be able to interact with my community, be able to chat comic books, but also debut my exclusives. And on the 6th, I'm going to be giving away one of those 3 systems that I just mentioned. On the 7th, I'm giving away those 3 keys that I mentioned. And you don't even have to buy anything from me. This is open to anyone to participate in. And I'm not doing this alone. I'm bringing Comic Butch on the airplane. I'm just kidding. No. I'm actually teaming up with Davis Ryder, who's going to be streaming before me each of those nights. And he is matching all of the giveaways I just mentioned. That's 2 opportunities on Thursday to win one of those systems. That's 2 opportunities on Friday to win one of those keys. Use the link in the description. Come join both of our streams. We are arriving and doing a pre-show this Wednesday, packing the house every day of the con. Come join the fun, and we'll see you in Florida. This is one of those books that people are likely going to make a mistake on. It's one of the most confusing collectibles to purchase.
Number 8 on the list, From Hell, number 1. Alan Moore and Eddie Campbell goodness. We're talking $15 average sales and a $450 CGC 9.8 from back in December 2022. There's only 42 slabs on the census and only 4 of them graded at a 9.8. There is a huge uptick in sales this week because we have information that there is a new live action reboot, a 467% increase to be precise.
This is a key collector key alert, an exclusive announcement. Insider sources told Key Collector this. It wasn't Deadline. It wasn't Variety. You need to download Key Collector Comics, utilize code Tom101, unlock a free 2-week subscription to get access to key alerts because it keeps you up way ahead of the curve of even mainstream news. Now, Russ, I need you to get into the freaking mess of a collectible that this is.
So this book had the misfortune of being printed by 2 separate publishers. We had Tundra that did the first 2 issues and Kitchen Sink that did the rest of them, and then went back and redid issue number 1. So a lot of these listings we see on eBay, they say Kitchen Sink first press, but it's actually a Mad Love Tundra. And then when you see the CGC slabs, it doesn't say Kitchen Sink first printing. You might see Kitchen Sink fourth printing, and then the Mad Love Tundra, it doesn't say first or second printing. But really, there are fewer than 50 of these on the census. When Tom and I took the time to look at every single listing on eBay, there were so many errors because anything that says Kitchen Sink on the back of issue number 1 is from 1994, not 1991. Anything that's actually from 91 has a Tundra Mad Love stamp on the back. It's just confusing, sellers are mislabeling it, and CGC didn't even denote half of them until a couple years ago.
Look for 1991 first printings if you're looking to invest or speculate on this comic book. And I'll tell you, we probably spent more time looking into this one book than any other on the list today because it was so confusing. There were so many listings riddled with errors. So you need to try to find these in person. You need to look at that first page. You need to ask the sellers to send you a picture of the first page to know what you're dealing with. 1991, Mad Love, issue number 1 is the one to get. Hit the subscribe button for that. And by the way, I'm just going to let you know right now, I'm going to give away a first appearance of Black Cat by the end of this video. Stay tuned.
You must be giving away that book because of number 7 on the list, Tom. Amazing Spider-Man 194, the first appearance of Black Cat.
I really like this spec. I like this investment. It's perfect casting for Spider-Man 4. We're hoping for a street-level hero vibe so that Peter Parker could go up against some less grandiose villains, right? Kingpin, where you at? Felicia Hardy, where you at? This would be perfect because Sydney Sweeney was already lightly spec'd on to portray this character, but that's because of the Sonyverse days. Hot 10. This book landed just this last week. That means record-breaking sales are happening. 12-month averages are being broken. Well, it's trending this week, an increase of copies sold of 106% because not only people think that the investment is there, but that the prices are great.
Now, fan casts are talking about Sydney Sweeney, and they also want her to play Power Girl, but we do have news this week that she has been cast to play Barbarella in a new reboot.
Barbarella, a remade version, hasn't been done since '68.
Well, goodbye. And thanks again for everything.
Oh, it was my pleasure.
Number 6 on the list is Venom 37. Remember back in 2024, Godzilla just started showing up on a bunch of different covers? Well, this one is spiking like crazy, and I think I know why. We have $15 average sales, $100 on the Dave Watcher variant that features Godzilla Venomized. They made a lot of covers of this style, incorporate Godzilla with someone from Marvel. But this one's unlike all the rest.
This book was brand new just a few months ago, so reporting on $15 average sales and $100 for a CGC 9.8 is pretty impressive. We are seeing a 325% increase in copies sold this week. This is not the only one of these Godzilla variants, definitely one of the cooler ones, but if you are a fan of Godzilla, you should also look for the Avengers 18 variant, the Deadpool 6 variant, and Fantastic Four number 25, which is Godzilla versus Galactus.
Immortal Hulk 15 is really cool, but Wolverine number 2 is by far my favorite. Wolverine going full adamantium skeleton, jumping at Godzilla through a plasma beam. Outstanding. But why is this book on the list right now? Is it because in March, Godzilla's going to go up against Marvel characters? Literally, Godzilla versus Marvel. They're kicking us off with Godzilla versus Fantastic Four. We're actually going to get some narratives attached to the covers that were kind of solicited to hype up what's coming this year in 2025. Or is it because this is the standout variant that changes Godzilla? All those other covers we just showed is just a versus cover. This one cover is a different version of Godzilla. He's venomized.
We have a repeat offender that has quadrupled in price in the last 7 days.
The book is cool. Do not buy it at a 9.8 right now. We're talking Spawn 356, Mark Spears Brilliance. This was $5 last week. Now we're reporting $20 average sales. No 9.8 since we last chatted about this book. Over a week ago, however, a 9.8 sold for $51. I expect this book to break 80 to 100 at a 9.8 in under 10 days.
Mark Spears has been a fixture on this list since October of last year, and absolutely well-deserved. This is one of those books that was flying under the radar and people just weren't aware of. The people who did get this book have probably already sent it in to get it graded. And as those trickle out, I expect to see these prices explode. If you can find it raw, you're gonna get a deal. CGC's turnaround is still like 35 to 40 days on modern books. So anyone who buys it today is not gonna have it back for almost 2 full months.
Between now and when those books start coming back in a few months, there's going to only be a few copies that hit the market. There's only 13 right now on the census, the same as last week. If we just reported a quadrupling of price of the raw copy, safe to say that the graded copy could go for double, triple. Dude, it could quadruple, which would put it at $200, and then the flood comes in. Do not buy a graded copy right now. At best, get your copies graded.
2 weeks in a row, the demand is still there, an increase of 122%. Did you buy this book after we talked about it last week? Let us know in the comment section below.
Number 4 on the list, Hulk number 1, first appearance of the Red Hulk, Thunderbolt Ross from 2008, seeing $75 average sales, $230 for a CGC 9.8. And that is the lowest sale of the year in grade. And this book is selling a lot. I know we're only a little ways through the first part of 2025, but this has an increase of copies sold of 207% as we are just 2 weeks away from the release of this movie. Now, this book is drastically down, but how do you feel about this, Russ? In the last 4 months, since the last time it's made the trending list, which is kind of crazy, throughout all the trailers, all the announcements, it's been that long. 100 new 9.8s have been added to the census. It's selling about $40 under the 12-month average sale. So there's a lot of sales happening. I would expect this book to actually be a little cheaper.
We've been talking Red Hulk for years at this point in time, and it just doesn't seem like something that is super long-term. Captain America 25, Sam Wilson, I see him being in multiple more movies, but Harrison Ford coming in to resurrect a character that the original actor died. How many movies are we going to get out of him?
We just found out this last week that Chris Evans responded to the rumors about him reprising the role as Captain America. Are they going to pull a Robert Downey Jr.? Are they going to bring him back in to then retake on the mantle to kind of save the MCU? He responded, no, not happening. I'm retired, which to me is good news. I don't want to see Chris Evans back as Captain America. I'd rather see him as Johnny Storm, to be honest. And Anthony Mackie does a fantastic job at not just playing Falcon, but portraying Captain America.
And don't forget, we have Noah Bradley for Patriot. Plus, we have Kate Bishop and Riri Williams that are still on the slate. Young Avengers is supposed to happen. We do have a young version of Captain America in Patriot.
Knowing that a lot of the rumors have already been proven false, we have to go into this with an open mind and hope for the best. And stay tuned to the very end, because it's likely going to have a post-credit scene. And what if it's an introduction of new Avengers, new characters? Thunderbolts, maybe more Red Hulk. You got to stay through.
It could just be shawarma.
Russ, this next book was cheap last week, and now it's even cheaper this week. What the hell is going on?
I think they're going the wrong direction with this book. We have more reasons to spec on it, and for some reason, Uncanny X-Men 244 coming in at number 3 this week. Really? Jubilee? First appearance. How is this worth less money?
$70 average sales. Last GPA sale. We were talking about this like being around $200 and going, yo, people are buying 5 copies of the most recent Peach Momoko variant. It's awesome. I love Peach. We have Peach Momoko original art right damn there. But $200 for Jubilee, it's just too cheap. Like, come on. Most recent sale, $135 for a 9.8.
It's from the high print run era of Uncanny X-Men, so we know there are copies out there, but the demand is high. Last week, people were buying because of Marvel Rivals. This week, we're seeing a 267% increase in copies sold because there are rumors that she's going to be in the X-Men reboot.
And let's not forget about X-Men 97. So many reasons to buy this. It's the first Jubilee, man. What's going on?
Number 2 on the list, Dark Spaces Dungeon. Number 1 from 2023, $4 average sales, Scott Snyder goodness, and we have option news.
We actually got a lot of option news just today, right before we went to filming, through the same publishing company. We have Kill Lock, Brutal Nature, and The Delicacy. So tread lightly. However, let's actually talk about more Scott Snyder books that are optioned right now that we haven't gotten updates on in quite a long time. By the way, I recommend them all. Fantastic writer, and these are some stellar stories. Witches, Jock, Horror, going to be an animation. That one seems like it's actually happening. Undiscovered Country, it is a wild story, but we have no updates on it. Noctera, dark, adventurous, gripping, horror, no updates on it. Dark Spaces Wildfire, one of my favorite Scott Snyder books of the last couple years, no updates on it.
And don't forget that Batman, we were talking about Court of Owls and Talon tie-ins. Really, Scott Snyder has so many things that would lend themselves to this. Although the book on the list, a 940% increase in copies sold this week. Cheap buy-in, potential high upside. If you can find a copy, you might as well just grab it.
What I like about this option status compared to all the rest I just mentioned, of a lot of books I really recommend, is that the movie Late Night with the Devil was brought to you by Spooky Pictures. They're the ones who are attached to this. And now, as that movie gets a lot of hype and people really enjoy it, it wasn't my cup of tea, but it was very successful, which gives me a lot of optimism on this particular book, which sounds like I need to add it to my pull list. What if you moved into a new house and you found a torture dungeon underneath it?
You have to say to the end of this video, you may have already won a golden ticket that will get you an Amazing Fantasy 15 first appearance of Spider-Man.
You may win an X-Men #1. You may win an Avengers #1. You may win a Marvel Spotlight #5. We are not kidding. We have 10 giveaways to announce. Stay tuned to the end of the video. I'll tell you how you can win this first appearance of Black Cat, the #1 most trending book of the week. Hit the subscribe button. Is your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man #1, the prequel to the animation that debuted over the last couple days, seeing $5 average sales and an increase of copies sold, deservingly so, of 204%.
This book is too new to have any slabs on the census, but we anticipate that they will be trickling in very soon. This is an excitingly different take on Spider-Man. The animation style is different. The characters are different. They've introduced Doctor Strange. They've introduced friends of Peter Parker. Some critics are saying they don't like it, but honestly, this is so fresh and fun that I think everyone needs to give it a chance.
This could be the X-Men Adventures of Spider-Man for the next generation. I can see this being a beloved series. The twists on the characters are excellent, superb. The casting is exquisite. We have Doctor Strange looking like a damn G, rocking the yellow gloves. We have twists on characters that we have. It's like an Elseworld story going on. Nico Minoru is his best friend, like out of nowhere, pulling characters from the Runaways. You got Tombstone, but not Tombstone, but will he become Tombstone? Hell, we got Wave from New Agents of Atlas.
The fact that the showrunners have talked that this is going to be using Marvel characters but won't be actually tied into any active universe gives them so much flexibility to be able to have some fun with these characters.
Introducing so many people that you wouldn't expect to see on the screen, and it's a fresh take on all of them. And then you also just add in a little spice of Steve Ditko styled art, like straight up Peter's glasses from the early ASM days and that classic yellow sweater. Let me know what you think about this show. If you've watched it, you got to see it in the comment section below. And of course, as always,
geek responsibly.
Enough said. Thank you so much for watching the video. And thank you to Bryce Comics. He's got these crazy mystery packs that he's selling. And it's hyper low print exclusives, but chase books that are like I've never seen done before. Giant Size X-Men #1, First Wolverine, First Ghost Rider, X-Men 1, AF-15. We have 10 winners to announce. You are going to be getting these on release day, mystery packs that may contain one of these big keys, but are guaranteed to contain some dope-ass comic books. Now, we have Spotify listeners, so we're going to read a lot of these out loud. If your numbers end in 7606, 9830, 2592, 2821, 4634, or 6620, check your phone. We may have texted you.
And if your name is Grant First, Jed Pangilian, Gaston Carlton, and Wayne Kamamoto, you have already won.
When I say SMS group, this is our way to be able to communicate to you if you won. And you only have to sign up once and stay signed on, and then you are entered to be in all of our giveaways going forward. You could have won those mystery packs, but if you want to win this first appearance of Black Cat, join it by going to comictom.com, put your phone number in, and you'll also be notified of like the MegaCon drops that I'm going to be doing next week, the biggest discounts we do, and so much more. Thank you so much, guys, and we'll see you soon.